So hello everybody, I'm back. We are at turn 2 of the Halmstad scenario number 1. So basically it's now round about 8:45. On their first turn the Swedes advanced, as I said, to up to 1 hex of the line of the Danes. The Danes basically stayed as they were under receive charge orders, and they basically just used their artillery up here to attack the Swedes, which was unfortunately not very successful. The Swedes, however, did use their artillery down here, and they did do some damage up here, some formation hits, which were later on in on the move of the Danes, or on the activation of the Danes, removed. And on the second turn the Swedes charged, and the way it works is once you move adjacent to an enemy they get a reaction. So basically they were being shot at by the artillery and the infantry, by the pistols of the cavalry, and there was also some artillery fire. And then they engaged in close combat. Now, close combat works a little bit strangely, in my opinion, because when you have two units adjacent to each other, let's say the Swedes advance and charge the Danes, and then they stand next to each other, instead of the Swede who has just charged the Danes getting the first turn in close combat, it's actually the defender who gets to attack first. So they become the attacker, so it's called reaction close combat. So they basically then start attacking the attacker. You have to designate which unit attacks which, and you are under no obligation to attack when you're adjacent to somebody, but that's fine. I basically want to attack everybody, being the Swedish player, trying to get rid of the Danes as quickly as possible. So basically the Danes went first with their reaction attack, and what happened was actually quite interesting, because the die rolls, as you can see maybe here on this chart, were really bad. The rolls were very low. I'm just gonna move the camera. So the first column is the die rolls. So you start 0, 4, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 4, and then a 7. So that was on 2 rounds basically. So as a result, there aren't very many redeeming factors for the Danes, because they were stationary. The morale values, the morale ratio was not really very impressive. There was a point +1 here or there, but there was no real headway to be made, and as a result the Danes actually lost a couple of units which ran away, and they were eliminated. So basically the Swedes got 5 points each for these. The Swedes also eliminated one of the named leaders through artillery fire, so that gave them an additional 5. And as you can see here now, I'm just going to push the camera forward a little bit. Here you see 1, 2 Danish units with morale broken, 1 with morale shaken. And of course these also have taken formation hits, because whenever you enter into close combat you take a formation hit automatically. This one was also, I have to think about this one. Did they not? What happened to them? Did they just retreat? Yeah. They actually have morale shaken as well. They had to retreat. So in the close combat, actually what happened was the Swedes never got to attack at all on their on their turn in the close combat, although they were the attackers, because the Danes had to retreat. So all of their attacks in the close combat reaction attack round were unsuccessful. So now it's the Danes, because we're on turn 1, the Swedes have just done what they were supposed to do, they charged, so the Danes have effectively pulled back, and now it's their turn. They've lost one leader, so basically I'll have to check what happens, because the center is without a leader at the moment. I don't know if they get the replacement for the leader straight away. I made a decision. I'm not going to look up everything in the rules. And some of the things in the rules are kind of like, yeah, that's cumbersome, let's not do this. So I'm beginning already to modify the way I play the game. So basically I've just given them back a leader, because I assume that as soon as they realize, oh, the leader's dead, somebody will be nominated straight away. So now they will have to make a decision what they want to do, and the way I figure, because they're all still under receive charge, so they couldn't even move adjacent to the Swedes. They would also have to rally, because some of them have morale broken, and also they only have a 1 hex movement. So it's important for them to basically, yeah, I suppose, regroup. So I'm going to try and get them to get into the rally state. And in the rally state, they can try and rally. Well, of course, that's the name explains that very easily. I'll just have to see if they can actually also move at all, or if they have to stay put. Oh yeah, they have, yeah, they can move up to 8 if they're cavalry. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and roll for change of orders and get them to become rally, and then we'll see if they can rally. So far it looks like the historical outcome will be reproduced. I'm very surprised at the way all of the fighting has gone so far. I mean, the die rolls were very low, but I don't think it's the die, because, well, it doesn't seem to be weighted. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So we'll see how this pans out, but it doesn't look too good for our Danish friends.